Have you ever been accused of murder? I was sitting in my third class of the day when the classroom door suddenly burst open and in strolled 3 police officers, determination on their grim faces. They scanned the crowd of shocked students before the tallest one spoke. Cameron Jones. The blood drained from my face as I hesitantly raised my hand. Here, I said. The officer marched up to me and pulled me to my feet roughly, slamming me face first into my desk as he slapped handcuffs on my wrists. Fear filled me as he dragged me toward the classroom door. You're under arrest for the murder of Stanley Briggs. Stanley Briggs was a kid in my class. He was a huge bully, always messing with the girls, making them uncomfortable with his lewd comments and staring. He would mess with the younger boys, shoving them into lockers and beating them after school behind the dumpsters. For a long time, he never looked at me twice. I didn't even think he knew I existed. But then my little sister started school as a freshman, and he immediately set his sights on her. She would come home in tears, complaining about Stanley and how handsy he was. He didn't understand the word no. Then my sister came home with a black eye and bruises in the shape of fingerprints on her upper arms. I was pissed. I cornered Stanley the next day during lunch. He immediately started confessing what he did to my sister, and I ended up punching him so hard it knocked him out cold. He seemed shocked that I was so angry. Obviously, no one has ever stood up to him before. That was the last time I saw him. He didn't show up at school the next day, and rumors started floating around. Rumors that his parents decided to homeschool him, or that he was finally expelled for his bad behavior. I never thought in a million years that he would be murdered. The officers shoved me into the back of a police car and took me to the police station, leaving me handcuffed to a metal table in a cold interrogation room. I didn't say a word, not even when one of the cops came in and started asking me questions about Stanley. I was still a minor, so they couldn't question me without my parents present. My parents finally arrived a few hours later. Mom looked awful with her mascara running and eyes red and puffy from crying. Dad looked pissed. "Why are you holding my son?" he demanded harshly. The cop who was questioning me stood slowly. "We have reason to believe your son murdered a fellow classmate," he said seriously. "We found his body this morning, and according to a video that was sent to us, your son was the last person to see him alive." My stomach dropped to the floor as I realized they must have a video of me punching the kid. "All I did was punch him," I said quickly. Then I left and went back to class. I didn't see him again. The cop didn't look convinced. "He was strangled to death," he continued. "Your DNA was on him." I stared at him in anger. "Because I punched him," I yelled. "Did you find my fingerprints around his neck?" The cop hesitated. "No," he admitted. I folded my arms across my chest. "You just want to pin his death on someone so you can go about your day," I said quietly. "We both know I didn't do this." The cop shook his head. "Someone sent us a video of his death," he said. "It's clearly you in the video." He opened a laptop and began playing a video for me. I was frozen in my seat. That definitely looked like me in the video, but it wasn't. I recognized the evil glint in his eyes, the way he held himself, the way his fingers stretched around Stanley's neck. Mom gasped loudly, slamming her hand over her mouth. "It's him," she whispered. "How did he escape?" The cop looked confused. "That isn't me," I said slowly. I glanced at my parents and sighed. "That's my twin brother. He almost killed me when we were younger, so the court ordered him to become a patient at a mental hospital. Because of his increasingly dangerous behavior, he became their prisoner, confined to his room. I have no idea how he escaped or what happened, but that's him." The cop looked shocked for a moment before he stood abruptly and left the room. About an hour later, he came back into the room and unlocked my handcuffs. "Story checks out," he grumbled. "Your brother is missing from the hospital. We're exhausting all our resources to find him and bring him back." When they caught my brother, they pinned the murder on him even though he denied it over and over again. No one believed him, and that made me smile, because that was how I got away with murder.